Thank you for staying with us on DD India. Let's go live across to the press briefing of India's Ministry of External Affairs happening in New Delhi.
क्या स्थिति है संपर्क को लेकर, और साथ ही ये रिपोर्ट्स भी आ रही हैं कि भारत ने ईरान की चाबहार परियोजना से एग्जिट कर लिया है, उसके बारे में क्या वस्तु स्थिति है, थोड़ा स्पष्ट कीजिएगा।
Yeshi.
This is Yeshi Seli from Business India. I have a question on Myanmar. The second round of elections was held on January 11th. Two Indians had gone as observers in the first round. Did anybody go? And also there are talks of including ethnic groups when the government is formed. Is there any update on what is likely to happen?
Ayushi.
So this is Ayush Agarwal from ANI. One question on Chabahar. Did the recent telephonic talks between EM Jaishankar and Iranian Foreign Minister feature Chabahar? And second, China has once again reaffirmed its claim over the Shaksgam Valley. What is your comment on that? And since the Chinese delegation was here this week and met our Foreign Secretary, did India formally raised our objections on such claims?
A friend there, yes.
This is Keita of GG Press, Japanese news agency. My question is regarding India-Japan strategic dialogue today. I had the main issue of the dialogue were AI and economic security cooperation. Did they discuss anything about defense cooperation? Thank you.
Rishabh. Sorry. Siddhant, sorry.
Hi sir, I'm Siddhant from CNN News 18. So my question is, there are reports that Ministry of External Affairs has raised objections to a Salman Khan film depicting the clash between Indian and Chinese troops in the Galwan Valley in 2020. Any comments from your side? Thank you.
Okay, first we come to प्रणय, आपका सवाल को सबसे पहले देखिए, आपको जैसा कि पता है, ईरान में करीबन हमारे 9,000 नागरिक इस समय रहते हैं, लगभग इनमें से ज़्यादातर लोग हमारे विद्यार्थी लोग हैं, उसके अलावे नाविक हैं और तीर्थयात्री हैं और भी कुछ लोग जो व्यापार से जुड़े लोग वहाँ पर रहते हैं। हाल ही के दिनों में वहाँ जो गतिविधि चल रही है उसको लेकर हम लोगों ने 2-3 एडवाइजरी इशू किए। एडवाइजरी में हमने ये कहा कि जो हमारे नागरिक हैं भारत में वो ईरान अभी ना जाएं, और जो भारत में वहाँ जो हमारे भारतीय नागरिक रह रहे हैं उनको कहा गया कि आप देश छोड़ने का जो भी मीन्स है, अभी तो कमर्शियल फ्लाइट्स वो भी उसका भी रास्ता अभी है, तो वो सब लेके लोग वहाँ से निकले। उसके अलावे वहाँ पर जो गतिविधि है उस पर हम लोग नज़र बनाए हुए हैं, और जहाँ तक हमारे लोगों का सवाल है उनके हित में जो भी कुछ होगा उसकी अगर ज़रूरत पड़ेगी तो हम लोग उस करने के लिए प्रतिबद्ध हैं। दूसरा सवाल आपका था चाबहार को लेके, तो उसमें मैं अपनी बातें आपके सामने रखना चाहता हूं। जैसा कि आपको पता है, 28 अक्टूबर 2025 को यूएस के ट्रेजरी विभाग ने एक चिट्ठी जारी की थी हम लोगों को। उस चिट्ठी में उसमें अनकंडीशनल सैंक्शंस वेवर की बारे में जानकारी थी, और ये जो अनकंडीशनल वेवर है, जो सैंक्शन वेवर हमको मिला है, आपको पता है जैसे कि वो 26 अप्रैल 2026 तक वैध है। हम इस व्यवस्था पर काम करने के लिए यूएस पक्ष के साथ बातचीत कर रहे हैं। नाउ यस, बिफोर यू wanted to come in, I actually knew that there was a need for this. We have around 9,000 Indian nationals in Iran. They are mostly students, people connected with business, some professionals as well, pilgrims and seafarers. Given the situation there, we have issued a few advisories asking Indian nationals to avoid all travel to Iran, and Indian nationals who are already resident in Iran to leave Iran by available means, including commercial flights. We continue to closely watch the unfolding situation there and will take all necessary steps for the welfare of our people. On the question of Chabahar, on 28th October 2025, as you are aware, the US Department of Treasury had issued a letter outlining the guidance on the conditional sanctions waiver, which is valid till 26th April 2026. We remain engaged with the US side in working out this arrangement. Ishi, your questions regarding elections. On elections in Myanmar, we have said what our position is. We want that there be inclusive and fair elections in which all stakeholders participate. We understand, as you rightly said, and we've seen reports that 2 rounds of elections have been held. Further rounds will be held subsequently. We do have people who've traveled from India, but these are individuals who've gone there in their private capacity. Ayushi, on your first question was regarding External Affairs Minister's conversation. We did have, External Affairs Minister did have a conversation with the Iranian Foreign Minister. The Iranian Foreign Minister shared with him the developments that have happened in the recent past. On Shaksgam issue, we have already clarified what our position is, so I will refer you to our comments that we made in the last press briefing. On the visit of the International Department of CCP, their Vice Minister, the Vice Minister had a meeting with our Foreign Secretary. We have given details of the discussions that were held. Please refer to our press release in that regard. For our friend Keita, the Foreign Minister of Japan, as you know, that he's visiting India from 15th to 17th of this month. This morning he had a call on a Prime Minister, and thereafter he, along with the External Affairs Minister, participated in the 18th India-Japan Strategic Dialogue. As part of the discussions, both leaders, they reviewed the multifaceted relationship that we have with your country, and in that regard they discussed supply chain resilience in critical sectors, investment, trade, technology, innovation, defense, people-to-people exchanges, and also our cultural ties. Both leaders underlined the importance of further strengthening India-Japan special strategic and global partnership in keeping with the outcomes of the 15th annual summit that was held in Japan last year when our Prime Minister traveled there for it. You referred to artificial intelligence. This initiative was announced by the 2 Prime Minister, and today the ministers launched the AI dialogue, so as to give a coherent push to bilateral cooperation between the 2 countries in this particular sector. On economic security, as you would have seen in the opening remarks of our External Affairs Minister, this is an important issue of engagement between the 2 countries, not just for our economies, but for the economies of the world at large. Both sides also decided to convene the Joint Working Group on Critical Minerals under the Economic Security Initiative to advance our collaboration in the fields of rare earths and critical minerals. The 2 ministers also look forward to celebrating 2027, that is next year, as when we complete 75 years of our relationship with Japan. So we look forward to. There was also some conversation around cricket, as you would have seen. He presented a jersey of the Japanese cricket team, the Foreign Minister. So overall, a very good visit, and the visit still continues. So please, we'll update you with more details with the visit of our Japanese Foreign Minister. Siddharth, on your question, we understand that a film of this nature is being planned. Issues regarding filmmaking in India, as you are well aware, are looked after by relevant authorities. And as far as we are concerned, MEA has no role in this or in such ventures. We go ahead. Manish.
Just building upon the question with Geeta, the discussion over some sort of maritime security equipment, military equipment has been under discussion with Japan for a long time, especially the Unicorn. They have also been reported. The issue of also export from Japan is being discussed. Are those things being materialized at this meeting today? Any progress on that? Thank you.
नीरज.
सर नमस्कार, मैं नीरज दुबे प्रवास साक्षी से. सर अमेरिका में भारतीय राजदूत ने यूएस लॉ मेकर्स के साथ एक मीटिंग की है और हाल के दिनों में ये दूसरी ऐसी मीटिंग है. इसके बारे में क्या अपडेट है सर? क्या ट्रेड डील पर कुछ था?
Smita.
Hi, going back to the question about the report today on exiting Chabahar port, could you just clarify whether the sanctions waiver which was granted was on the condition that it would lead eventually to the winding down of operations, because that's what the report seems to say, and B, in terms of the additional 25% tariff that now President Trump has imposed for any kind of business with Iran, if you could throw light on exactly what is the trade that India has with Iran currently, and does it impact pharmaceuticals also?
Okay. Siddhant.
So Siddhant from WION. The External Affairs Minister and Marco Rubio held conversation. How much was their focus on the trade component? And there are information that there could be a meeting next month. Are we looking at EM's visit in US or Marco Rubio's visit in Delhi?
Aditya.
So Aditya from NDTV, my question is about the India-EU summit that's happening, and we saw the statement from the MEA, but are we really going to sign now the FTA between the two countries? And also on the Afghan CDA that has joined in, he met the JSPI and there was a statement from the Afghan embassy. What is the working relation going to be forward, and anything on the logistics and the trade between the two countries?
अगले चरण में Manish, on defense cooperation with Japan, this is an important element of our collaboration, and this was a matter that was discussed between the two leaders, External Affairs Minister and Foreign Minister of Japan, and we look forward to further strengthen our ties. You asked about several of these projects. There are several projects which are under consideration, and we want to further strengthen our ties, taking into account all the projects that you mentioned. नीरज, जो अब भारत के राजदूत अमेरिका में चाहे कोई और देश में हैं, उनकी लगातार बातचीत होती रहती है वहाँ के कांग्रेस के मेंबरान से, और उसके अलावा और भी अन्य समाज के वहाँ पर जो लोग हैं उनसे बातचीत होती रहती है, ताकि हमारे दोनों देशों के रिश्तों में और मजबूती आए और बल मिले, और इसी संदर्भ में ये बातचीत लगातार चलती रहेगी. और जैसा कि आपने बताया, हमारे वाशिंगटन डीसी में जो एम्बेसी है उसके हवाले से आप लोगों को इस पर खबर दी जा रही है. Smita, on Chabahar, I just told you what our position is, and I would like to repeat again that we remain engaged with the US side in working out the arrangement that was given of the conditional waiver. On the second question on trade, we are, 25% tariff that you mentioned, we are closely following all these developments. As far as our bilateral trade with Iran is concerned, in the last financial year, we had overall bilateral trade of $1.6 billion, of which our exports to Iran was in the region of $1.2 billion US, and our imports from Iran was in the region of $0.4 billion. If you look at overall what sort of size it has in our overall global trade, then Iran accounts for about 0.15% of India's total trade. Siddhant, on your question regarding conversation between External Affairs Minister and Secretary of State, you would have seen the readout that was there from both sides. But just to tell you that this conversation happened on 13th of January. This was the first conversation between the two leaders. They discussed a range of bilateral issues, including trade, critical minerals, defense, civil nuclear cooperation and energy, and they also exchanged perspectives on regional developments. As to when our leaders would be visiting each other's countries, those are details that will are yet to be worked out, and as you know, we do inform you well in advance of these visits so that you can keep track of them and report on them. The India-EU summit is to be held on 27th of January, and the leaders, the President of the EU Council and the President of EU Commission, they are visiting India. They are the chief guest for our, they'll be here on a state visit. They are a chief guest for Republic Day this time. On India-EU FTA, as I told you last time as well, that these negotiations are progressing. On the Afghan CDA, yes, some time back when we had the visit of Afghan Foreign Minister, we had elevated our partnership, we elevated the Indian technical mission in Kabul to the level of an embassy. And thereafter, the person who was heading the technical mission in Kabul was upgraded as Charge d'Affaires. In line with this approach now, the Afghan side, they have also sent a diplomat who is their CDA, and the CDA has taken charge as of 9th of January. And between the two sides, conversations are happening. On trade and logistics, 3 ministerial visits have happened from Afghanistan to India. And if you remember, when the trade minister, the commerce minister, when he was here, there was a discussion about creating a freight corridor so that there could be more trade between the two countries, especially in items such as pharmaceuticals, fruits, and other essential commodities.
एक छोटा सा क्लैरिफिकेशन है। उमा शंकर सिंह, इंडिपेंडेंट जर्नलिस्ट। ईरान पे जो एडवाइजरी की अभी आपने बात की वो हम सब ने देखा है, और अभी आपने कहा कि क्योंकि कमर्शियल फ्लाइट्स चल रही हैं, तो क्लैरिफिकेशन ये चाहिए कि क्या अभी कोई इवैक्यूएशन का प्लान गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया का नहीं है, क्योंकि कमर्शियल फ्लाइट्स चल रहे हैं और जो लौटना चाहते हैं वो कमर्शियल फ्लाइट्स के जरिए लौटे।
Keshav.
Thank you, sir. Keshav Padmanabhan from The Print. I just wanted to follow up on the discussions with Secretary of State Marco Rubio with specific focus on trade. Was there any sort of idea of when or where the trade negotiations will move forward? Are there going to be further rounds? The reason I ask this is India's purchases of American oil has increased by about 50% in the last fiscal year. So has there been any conversation on tariff relief due to the increase in imports from the US? Can you give us a sense of that, sir? Thank you.
Vijay Lakshmi.
सर, विजय लक्ष्मी हूँ इंडिया टीवी से। सर, 8 दिसंबर 2025 को ईरानी रेवोल्यूशनरी गार्ड्स ने वेलेंट रोड टैंकर को जब्त किया था, जिसमें 16 भारतीय जो हैं क्रू मेंबर हैं, उनके वेयरअबाउट्स को लेकर के उनके परिवार काफी चिंतित हैं। उसको लेकर कोई जानकारी?
कादम्बरी शर्मा, इंडिपेंडेंट जर्नलिस्ट। सर, आपने ईरान में हमारे नागरिकों की बात की है। कई स्टूडेंट्स के जो परिवार हैं यहाँ पर, वो कह रहे हैं कि वो खुद भी संपर्क नहीं कर पा रहे हैं अपने बच्चों से। तो ऐसे में क्या वहाँ पर हमारा जो दूतावास है, सभी जो नागरिक हैं, क्या उनसे किसी प्रकार से संपर्क कर पाया है या इस बारे में कोई इंतजाम हुआ है?
ओके, कलोल।
Kalol from The Hindu, sir. Sir, you just quoted a trade figure for Iran, and I wanted to ask you a question about the totality of the relationship between India and Iran. And when we look at it from that point of view, we find Iran has been supportive of India on multiple issues, including very critical issues like Kashmir. And Iran's support goes back to 1980s and 1990s when Iran stood beside India in defending what India's position is on Kashmir. So when we look at possible exit of India from Chabahar and the trade figure that you just quoted, I mean, does it look like that India is disregarding India's partnership with Iran, in a long-term partnership with Iran, especially even in Afghanistan? Does it look like you are downgrading the relation with Iran because of external pressure in the current circumstances?
ओके उमर शंकर, पहला सवाल आपका। ट्रैवल एडवाइजरी के जरिए हमने बताया कि कमर्शियल फ़्लाइट्स का ऑप्शन का विकल्प लोगों के लिए है अभी, तो वो लोग इसका इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं। जहाँ तक उनके हित की बात है, हमारे नागरिक हैं, उनके हित की बात है, उनके वेलफेयर की बात है, जैसा कि मैंने कहा, ज़रूरत पड़ने पर जो भी नेसेसरी कदम, जो भी ज़रूरत की कदम होगी वो हम लोग उठाएंगे। Keshav, on the Secretary of State conversation, yes, trade was part of the conversation, as we have also put it out in our release. As I have said this on several occasions earlier as well, trade teams on both sides remain engaged with the objective of arriving at a mutually beneficial bilateral trade agreement. As I said, External Affairs Minister spoke to Secretary of State. This happened on 13th of January, and trade was one of the matters that was discussed between the two leaders. विजयलक्ष्मी, हाँ, 10 लोग को हिरासत में लिया है लोगों को, जैसे मैंने पहले बताया था, और उनके लिए हम लोगों ने कॉन्सुलर एक्सेस मांगा है वहाँ सरकार से, और वहाँ के सरकार से भी हम लोग उनके भलाई के लिए और उनके हित के लिए लगातार संपर्क में हैं। और जब जैसे भी हम लोग को जैसे ही हमको कॉन्सुलर एक्सेस इन लोगों के बारे में मिलेगा, तो हमको और विस्तृत जानकारी आपको हम दे पाएंगे। कादम्बनी, आपका सवाल था किस प्रकार से हम लोग वहाँ पर जो हमारे नागरिक हैं उनसे संपर्क में हैं। भारतीय समुदाय के, जैसे मैंने बताया कि 9000 लोग अलग अलग शहर में रहते हैं वहाँ पर, उनसे अलग अलग तरीके से हमारी एम्बेसी संपर्क में है और उनकी देखभाल कर रही है। थोड़ी दिक्कत है वहाँ पर अभी कई एक महीने में, लेकिन उसके अलावे हमारे लोग हैं वहाँ पर, एम्बेसी है, समुदाय के लोग हैं, और कई एक तरीके से हम लोग अपने नागरिकों के से जुड़े हुए हैं, उनसे बातचीत कर रहे हैं और उनके देखभाल कर रहे हैं। Kalol, we have a long-standing partnership relationship with Iran. We are looking at closely following the developments that are happening. We're looking at the evolving situation, and we'll accordingly take our partnership forward. With that, बताइए संजीव।
सर, न्यूज़ 24 से संजीव त्रिवेदी सर। और मेरा प्रश्न ये है कि 29 जनवरी से विमानन का परिचालन शुरू होगा ढाका और कराची के बीच में। आपने पूर्व में बताया है कि बायलैटरल एयर सर्विस एग्रीमेंट के जरिए चीज़ें तय होंगी। इसका अर्थ क्या हुआ सर? क्या हम कराची जाने देंगे बांग्लादेश से जो विमान उड़ेगा उसे अपने एयर स्पेस के जरिए?
Srinjoy and Gautam.
Sir, times now, Srinjoy. Russia, China, Iran, South Africa, all countries, BRICS countries, at the invitation of South Africa, began a naval exercise in the Indian Ocean. India was invited, but India is not taking part. Could you let us know, sir, what transpired?
Okay, Gautam.
Thank you, sir. This is about a comment made by the Jamaat-e-Islami of Bangladesh. He gave an interview to an international agency where he claimed that 2 Indian diplomats have met him, as India is reaching out to many parties. Whether India is also reaching out to Jamaat-e-Islami?
ओके संजीव, पहला देखिए, मैंने पहले भी बताया था आपको कि जो भी विमान के संदर्भ पे नागरिक उड्डयन के संदर्भ में जो भी बांग्लादेश और भारत के बीच में जो भी मसला है, उस जो हमारे अभी के जो एग्जिस्टिंग एयर सर्विसेज एग्रीमेंट है उसके तहत में होगा। तो उस तहत एयर सर्विसेज एग्रीमेंट में बहुत सारी चीज़ें हैं, उसको देखते हुए बात किया जाएगा, उसको देखा जाएगा कि इस प्रस्ताव पर क्या कैसे इसको आगे ले जा सकता है। Srinjoy, well, I've seen that, and you would have seen several reports that this particular exercise is being held at the invitation of South Africa, and several countries have joined. India has not joined because of several reasons. I don't have the exact, but for sure I will update you as to why we were not able to participate in this particular exercise this time. Gautam, on your questions, we have close bilateral ties with Bangladesh, as you are well aware. Our High Commission officials routinely they meet with several interlocutors. Our interaction with the entity that you just mentioned should be viewed in that context. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the close of this session. Thank you very much.
So that was the weekly press briefing conducted by India's Ministry of External Affairs in New Delhi, where advisories were issued for some 9,000 Indians living in Iran to leave the country if they haven't done so far. It was also informed that the US granted 6-month sanction waiver to India on developing the Chabahar port is valid till April 26th. 2026, and negotiations between both the sides are continuing. India and Japan have held the 18th Strategic Dialogue in New Delhi, where focus was on the Indo-Pacific, AI cooperation, supply chains and security. And also it was informed that India-EU summit will be conducted on 27th of January with the India-EU FTA negotiations at the center of it. We all know that European Council President Antonio Costa and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen will attend the 77th Republic Day of India celebrations as chief guests. So that was the nutshell of this press briefing. Our bulletins continue. Gautam Roy joins you on the other side. Stay with us.